There are basic tools and basic resources that every mechanic or beginner mechanic or do-yourself mechanic should have and should contemplate before they even jump on YouTube. Hello everyone, AM&C Tech here, and today I want to go over with you some of the things that you should have in your arsenal if you're gonna take on the maintenance on your family cars. In this case, I have a Mercedes and we have a Toyota Solara. Now, I made the mistake of when I first bought this car right here that I did not know the maintenance manuals were not available. Thankfully, nowadays you have YouTube and other blogs and other websites you can tap into for information, but it's not comprehensive information such as a maintenance manual will give you. For example, the Toyota Solara, on the other hand, you can get a maintenance manual. The Camry and the Lexus and whatnot, and including the Solara, because that's a 2007 right there. These manuals are available. Had I looked into it further before I got the Mercedes, I probably wouldn't have purchased this car, but I would have gotten something where the maintenance manual was available. But anyway, going back to what this video is about, essentials or basic essentials that every do-it-yourself mechanic should have in their arsenal when they decide to tackle their own maintenance. Starting from the top drawer, for me, I have some basic bits such as Phillips head and flatheads and the things of that nature. I have some alligator clips on the top drawer. We have a gauge for the spark plug gaps, a couple of air pressure gauges for larger tires, and you have a air chock to put put air in the tires, and for the spare tire as well. Something more sensitive. That one is, I believe, a larger graduated scale, where this one is 1 psi at a time. Let's see if I can show you. As you can see, it goes from 20 to 25, 30. It's much more sensitive, which is what I like to use on both the Toyota and the Mercedes. We also have some spatulas and things of that nature that I usually use for interior work. And that's usually what I use in this top drawer, keep on this top drawer. Mirrors. Always try to have a mirror or two, something even smaller. Allen keys of different sizes, metric and standard if you can. Now, speaking of metric and standard, these two cars are both Japanese and European cars and use a metric standard, a metric system for sockets and not sockets, for nuts and bolts. So when you go get yourself a set of tools, find out what kind of size and what kind of system of measurement does your nuts and bolts of your car uses. Oftentimes Americans are standard, Europeans and everybody else seems to have metric. A magnet. You're gonna want to have a magnet when you become a mechanic, because you're gonna drop nuts and bolts, and oftentimes they're not gonna make it to the bottom of the car for you to find. Next, we have this is where I keep all my screwdrivers, like mini files and things of that nature. You can buy kits of screwdrivers that are relatively cheap, where you have different size screwdrivers, Phillips and standard. Also keep a battery brush for cleaning the battery terminals. Next drawer we have pliers of different types. You have your standard dikes. You have some needle nose. You have smaller dikes that I use mainly for cutting wires. I don't use these for cutting metals and things of that nature. Some wire strippers and other different types of pliers, as you can see in this drawer. Next we have this is where I keep different types of sockets that these two cars use. Like for the Mercedes, for example, uses these star point socket set, and it also uses many of impact star socket set. This is what the Mercedes uses. That's why I had to get these different types of sockets. Otherwise, get yourself some standard sockets, 3/8 drive and 1/4" drive. So, for example, this is a 3/8 drive extension. And you also have some 1/4" drive stuff. That's a 1/4" drive extension. Now, mind you, this is just some of the stuff that I keep in this toolbox, but I have many more tools, which I'll show you here in a second. Now, mind you, as disorganized as this is, I'm much more organized when it comes to my toolbox at work, because I work on airplanes and I have to be organized. I have some Allen keys right here. We have some basic wrenches. And then besides this, you're going to want to get yourself some torque wrenches. Now, I'm old-fashioned. I still have the click types. These are quarter-inch drive. This one goes from 10 to 50 inch-pounds, and every 12 inches a foot-pound. This one goes from 40 to 200 inch-pounds. This one goes from 20 to 100 foot-pounds. And this one goes from 40 to 150 foot-pounds. Get yourself also, see if you can find a place where they can calibrate your torque wrenches regularly, so that you make sure that you have the proper calibration and that you're doing the proper torquing when you're tightening essential hardware on your car. Flashlight, a voltmeter, a feeler gauge. We talked about the maintenance manual, but then we also have safety glasses. Try to get yourself some safety glasses, because you never know. Especially when you're under the car, you don't want stuff going into your eyes. Believe me, it's annoying. I use also latex gloves. Why? Because I'm surrounded by women, between wife and daughter, and they like me to have clean hands. And I also have smaller wrenches. They call these I forget what they call them, but small wrenches for small stuff you're going to run into. These ones here, for example, are standard. They're not metric, but also have a metric set at work. Operating the owner's manuals with another resource you want to tap into, because it will have a lot of information, such as resetting of codes and torque specs, and what kind of oils to use, and things of that nature. These are phenomenal resources that you should be tapping into before you even go to YouTube or anywhere else, or even Google. And as I mentioned earlier, this is another toolbox that I have, or I keep other tools. And there's other sockets here. You could get yourself some sets, like this one right here that I have. For this is your quarter-inch drive with extensions or ratchet, with some metric and standard sockets, which is good to have besides the wrenches. And also have some bigger sockets right here that I use, for example, such as the for the wheels and for bigger applications such as these right here. So yeah, so to recap, guys, whenever you should decide to tackle and do your own maintenance, especially in today's economy, where everything is getting so expensive, especially maintenance from a mechanic that can range anywhere between $100 to $150 an hour. Unless you're making at least that kind of money an hour, I'd suggest that you do the work yourself if you can. And as I've mentioned, make sure you have your owner's manuals to tap in for resources, because these manuals will provide specific information for the car that you drive, what fluids and what pressures or what torques. And obviously, see if you can get a maintenance manual for your car. You're going to need some odds and ends tools, such as mirrors, flashlights, magnets, and things of that nature, which we already talked about. Screwdrivers, pliers, sockets, ratchets, extensions, and wrenches. Torque wrenches, if you can get them. Nowadays, they have these digital torque wrenches. They could go from, you can actually adjust the different type of torque specs, inch-pounds to foot-pounds to Newton-meters and things of that nature. A voltmeter, if you can, some lights. I also have a bag that I use to carry just the essentials from when I'm doing a job. So that's it, guys. I hope this is of help to you. I'm trying to help you guys to have some basic stuff that you're going to need, which, by the way, you can also carry this with you in your trunk of your car if you have to go somewhere. Trying to tackle some basic stuff that you guys may need for when you decide to do your own maintenance. And before you buy a used car, just make sure that the maintenance manuals are available. Otherwise, I mean, it's going to be tough to seek out information. Other than that, guys, I got nothing else for you. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below. Like and subscribe for more videos like this, and we will see you next time.